Welcome to the Joy of Cruising podcast with your host, award-winning author Paul C. Thornton, a weekly conversation with the amazing cruisers featured in the Joy of Cruising trilogy, comprised of The Joy of Cruising, Cruising Interrupted, and new release, The Joy of Cruising Again. Each book is a compilation of features about cruisers and cruise and travel personalities from around the world. It's the next best thing to cruising, hearing about cruising from the unique and diverse perspectives of Paul's amazing guests.
Hello, passionate cruisers. This is Paul, and I am delighted to welcome this week on the Joy of Cruising podcast, Scott and Tom, creators of Vitamin C UK. Their credo is sailing the 7 seas and rivers, 2 Hawaiian shirts at a time. We're here to show that there's a cruise line for everyone, shattering the image of what some believe cruising is. We choose cruise to embrace new cultures, new food, try new experiences, and see what the world has to offer wherever the sea laps the shore. I met Vitamin C UK on Instagram. Our mutual interest in cruising was obvious from the beginning. What made Vitamin C UK captivating is that they always seem to be fun, happy, and embracing the moment. I'm sure you've heard some variation of there's no such thing as a bad cruise. Well, Scott and Tom seem like the poster boys representing that ethos. Indeed, they describe themselves as a fun, happy couple that both have a passion for travel, adventure, and embracing new culture. Rather than focusing on the amenities that a ship has, we show ourselves enjoying them and what you can actually do on a cruise holiday. Vitamin C UK is big on celebrity, but has tried numerous cruise lines, like Princess for its classic feel and intimate venues, like its jazz club, to the Queen Mary with its classic activities like afternoon tea, white gloves, tradition, fine dining, and champagne. They love dressing up for formal nights in a tux, but also like to dress down. Vitamin C UK notes there's so much to cruising. The staff really makes a difference. It's their attention to detail and service that can set a cruise line apart. Oh, and the food. They love good restaurants and wine. They love that they've made so many friends, and there is something about cruising that makes everyone want to talk to each other and share experiences. Vitamin C UK sounds like they embody the joy of cruising. Let's let them tell you themselves. Welcome, Scott and Tom, to the Joy of Cruising podcast.
Hello.
Hey, glad to be here.
So how you both doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. It's been a busy Saturday, but yeah, we're glad to be joining you.
Good.
Got our drinks in our hands.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, all good.
I'm glad to meet you in cyberspace anyway. So before we discuss Vitamin C UK, and I love that name, by the way,
Thank you.
tell our listeners about yourselves. Where you each from? Where do you live? What's your professional backgrounds? How'd you meet? Anything that you would like to share?
Go on, Tom.
I'll go first then. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm the one with hair for the ones that don't know us. If you go on our Instagram. Yeah, we both live in London. I've lived in London now for 6 years or so. Scott, born and raised. That sounds like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but hey ho. My background is aviation. I work for an airline in the UK, and I design the cabins and the seats. Many of you have probably sat in them, I hope. So that's me. Cruising wise, I started cruising from a young age with my parents. Not looked back since.
And yeah, I'm Scott, the bald one, as Tom said. I work in skincare, actually, for a luxury skincare brand. I'm now doing omni retail and events. And I used to work on cruise ships back in the day. I'm talking a long time ago now. I used to work for Royal Caribbean many moons ago. Yeah, I used to be a shoppy.
Oh, okay. So, well, we'll get back to that. That's a good good topic. I always love getting former cruise ship employees and even current cruise ship employees on the podcast. I just interviewed yesterday a captain. He's a retired captain. That was a lot of fun. I have already had a retired captain on. I've had a videographer on. I've had a woman who's going to be on next week, I'm going to interview her next week. She's going to be on in a couple of weeks. She's like a communications manager. You know, she does like the daily activities and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah. Busy job.
Very busy.
I've had just a number. I had a maitre d'. They call him the singing maitre d' because that's what he's known for. And yeah, he sounds. If you hear him and you don't see him, you think it's Frank Sinatra.
Oh wow!
Really?
But you know, then you see him, and he gets in. Sometimes he stands on tables in the dining room.
Wow. What cruise line is he on?
He's on Carnival. His first job was Royal Caribbean, but he wasn't the singing maitre d' then. When he was on Royal Caribbean, he started off as like a busboy. He had been a waiter in London, but when he joined the cruise industry, they made him, you know, start from the bottom. But so he was a busboy, but he quickly moved up, and he's now very senior maitre d'. In fact, whenever Carnival has like new ships, they bring him. And you know, for one thing, a lot of guests want to hear him sing. So, but anyway, we'll get back to your time on ships. Anything else you want to share, or before we move on?
No, more will probably come out as we go along.
Okay, so let's start with cruising. What's your each of you talk about your cruising background?
So I think we touched on it, but I started cruising back when I was I think 8 years old on Princess Cruises, on the very first Star Princess, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. It got scrapped, I think, in COVID. I just remember this freedom that I had as a child, being able to like roam the ship without my parents, go to the kids club, charge drinks to their account, which I did quite a lot of. Non-alcoholic, of course.
At 8 years old, I hope.
Non-alcoholic, milkshake.
Okay.
And just things like the midnight chocolate buffet and the again, not drinking this, but it was spectacular just watching the champagne fountain, which is a princess signature, and just seeing all these places that I'd never seen before. And every time you opened up the curtain in your stateroom and you looked out the window, there would just be like this new place there. It was just phenomenal, really amazing.
So I suspect, fair to say, that your initial impressions were very positive. Your initial impressions of cruising was very positive.
Yeah, and like back then in the UK, people just didn't do it. We had P&O cruises in the UK, Cunard, but yeah, we went with Princess, and you just speak to everyone that I went to school with, my mum and dad's parents. Nobody went on cruises. It was just this
luxury thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's luxury. This different world, and people really dressed up back then as well. I remember my mum hiring ball gowns and my dad hiring tuxes and stuff for the evenings. It was a completely different fairy tale world. It was just amazing. Not that it isn't today, but it is at different levels, and there's different entry points compared to how it used to be.
Mm-hmm. But by the way, for the listeners, that's Tom speaking, and I'll use his words, the one with hair.
Yes, the one with hair.
Yeah. Now, he said it first, so. So how soon after that first cruise, Tom, did you cruise again?
I think it was a couple of years later, weirdly on the same ship, but it transferred by that time over to P&O in the UK, and it was called Arcadia. Not today's Arcadia, the one before that.
Okay.
And it was weird. There was some really noticeable differences how they dialed down the ship for kind of the UK market. It was different. But again, did that across the Bay of Biscay. That's a story, actually. I remember being in the main dining room as a kid. We probably shouldn't have been eating in there at the time because it was so rough. But we did it anyway. We were Brits and we were like, right, we're going to do it. We're used to the weather. We can get on with this. and was in the dining room. Wave hit one side of the ship, and my dad and my sister's chairs slightly rocked backwards, and then the wave hit the other side of the ship, and my chair went flying backwards. And there was this corner of the table behind me, and I smacked my head on it. And it was like blood coming out of my head. Medical room, had my head glued. Yeah.
Yeah, before do it, they made sure your dad was okay.
They did make sure my dad was okay.
With a whiskey, wasn't it?
Gave my dad a strong whiskey or brandy or something before
For the
cutting me
shock.
off for the shock, because he was in shock more than I was. But yeah, that was a story and a half. Very risque. So you got to pick your season.
So when did you first cruise as an adult?
Oh, that was Norwegian. Was it Spirit?
Spirit was Spirit.
Norwegian
just before
Spirit.
its refurb, I think.
Yeah, just before its refurb. So we did
story behind that as well.
There is a story behind that. That was not long after I'd met you, a couple of months.
I think we've been together about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. It was the first time Scott met my dad and the rest of my family. So he met my dad in Rome the night before we got on the ship. Mm-hmm. And he actually met my sister, my brother-in-law, and my nephew. Yeah, on the quayside before we got on the ship. Yeah. That was an amazing cruise. Really good itinerary, actually.
It was good itinerary. The ship was a okay cruise.
Yeah,
the itinerary was good. That's what made it good.
The ship was showing signs of age, which is why they refurbed it. Obviously,
yeah. But now it looks like I'd like to.
It looks stunning. I would love to go back on
that. They did a great job of refurbishing it because that was my last cruise.
Oh, really?
Really? On the new one or the old one?
Yeah, on the refurb.
Really? Is it nice?
Yeah. It was just a few months ago, and it was a dream itinerary. It started in Hawaii, did all the Hawaiian islands, then 6 sea days up to Alaska.
Okay,
amazing.
I did that when I worked
back in the day.
Yeah.
So that was what I call a double bucket list trip, because both of those destinations were on my bucket list. And then I learned of this cruise where I can cross off 2 at one time. So
you get the cold and the hot, and
Alaska's not as cold as you think it is.
But you get 2
different. They called it. Actually, it was called the Fire and Ice Cruise. So we
really,
I love that.
We packed bathing suits and tank tops and shorts in one suitcase, and then in another suitcase we actually overpacked for Alaska. I mean, we had thermal gloves. We had heavy duty gloves, thermal underwear. We didn't use any of that. I mean, it was in the 40s a lot of times, but there was one day we were in Ketchikan, Alaska, and there were people in short sleeve shirts. Not me, but it was maybe 65. And there were people who actually had on short sleeve shirts. So Scott, tell us about your cruising background.
Gosh, I hadn't cruised before. I was living in London, still wanted to travel the world, still young. I think I was 26 when I joined, and I wanted to be cabin crew. Didn't get the job 3 times, and then it didn't happen. I went, you know what, flying's not for me. So I applied for a cruise ship job. And I got the job within 2 weeks. I got my ship within 3 months, and it was the Legend of the Seas, and that's not with Royal Caribbean now. They're now gone over to TUI.
With Marella, isn't it?
And Marella, yeah, that's it. And gosh, when I went on that, for me, that was wow. What am I doing? For me, that was a big ship, and to these days, it's like the mini one. But I got on board. I left my mum. I left my family. I left my partner at the time. It was like just shock to the system, because I've never done that. It was like you leave everything behind and you join a ship. You're in a room that's got no windows and it's got bunk beds, and you're meeting 52 different nationalities all in 2 weeks. It was quite overwhelming. There was times when I was having emotional moments when, oh my God, what am I doing? But once I got over the 2-week barrier, I think it's one of the best things I've done. We did the crossing. We did Europe, and then we did the crossing over to Tampa. And then when I was in Tampa, we did some of the Caribbean, and my manager called me in and goes, hey, and I went, oh my God, what have I done wrong? I thought I was in trouble. And he went, no, there's another ship that needs more staff. And I went, okay, I'm up for that. So they transferred me from Tampa to Miami. And this is like the first time I've probably traveled on my own. So I'm like doing all this on my own, go, what the hell is going on? And then they put me onto the Navigator of the Seas. And at that time, that was the biggest ship in the world. And I got there and went, oh my God, this is like double the size of the Legend.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to go on board the Nav. That's what we used to call it, the Nav. Still call it the Nav to this day. And I got on it. There was an ice rink. There was, oh God, there was just so much going on. And thing for me about cruising, and still to this day, even working on board and cruising, was meeting the people, the nationalities. Yeah. I've got so many friends from the Navigator and the Legend that I'm still in contact with now. And like my friend Krista, who's in Vancouver, I go and see her as much as we can. It's not that easy, but my friend in Australia, Mel, she's had a baby. The list goes on, you know. And then after that, I came back and had a 3-4 month break, as you do, and then joined the Raiders of the Seas and did Hawaii and Alaska.
Wow.
And like, yeah, it was just, and I think since then I had a break and came back and worked, as you do. I was like, had my time on the ships. It's hard work, people. If you're ever going to go work on a cruise ship, the people that work on them, doesn't matter if you're a shoppy, barman, waiter, they work hard, long days.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in the end. And if you've got a passion for meeting people and travel, then it's a thing to do. And I think after that, and then when me and Tom met up, finally met and dated, and then we were back on a cruise together, I feel like we got the bug again.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And that was it. Well, okay, we need to book another cruise. And then
it was the first time since I'd done it as a child, and you've done it from working. Yeah. So it's like grown adults. We were
I think after that, kind of, you moved in with me, and that all happened, and then we went on the cruise with Mum, and then lockdown kicked in.
Yes,
and then everything stopped. So, but that's
oh my God! In lockdown, all we did was watch like YouTube videos.
We did, But yeah, for that, like for me, I worked for it, and then missed a part of traveling, and then met Tom, and then it all kind of kicked in again.
Right. So Scott, let's go back. When you started, you're saying that your first cruise was as an employee.
Yeah, for Royal Caribbean.
Were you
Starboard? And then Royal Caribbean, because Starboard's the people that looked after the shops.
Right. Were you anxious about seasickness or just being on the ocean or any of that?
Do you know what? I think for me at the beginning I was more anxious of leaving the country, saying goodbye to my friends and family. And I didn't think I thought about that, but I think once I got on board, that all kicked in about seasickness. And like everyone goes, you used to wear, back in the day, you used to wear these bands. And I wore them again. I'll wear them. And I was actually lucky. And we went over the Bay of Biscay as well. So we were okay. But I did wear them just to be on the safe side. But I wasn't too nervous about it. I wore them because everyone said, I think you should wear them. Because back in the day, I think seasickness was probably more of a bigger thing because there wasn't that many remedies to have, right? But
smaller ships as well.
Smaller ship as well. So it rocked a bit more. But no, I was okay, actually. I was one of the lucky ones.
Well, I know that you said you stressed how hard everyone works, which I happen to know is quite true. But they also play hard too. I had on a previous episode. I had a. You want to check this out when you get a chance. It's about a guy. He was from the UK, and he got a job, very similar to you. He got a job on a cruise ship, never cruised before. And he had some stories in terms of, partying and drinking.
I can imagine.
And on, and the crew bar. And so really good. It's called Cruise Ship Diaries. I don't know. It's probably a couple of months old. But when you get a chance, check that out. I think you
There's probably a few things I can relate to.
Yeah.
We had some good times.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was on board, we had corridor parties. You probably can't do that anymore. We had back deck parties. We had Jamaican parties, Indian parties, English parties. I think one of my favorites was the Indian ones because when they dance. And food was amazing. Even the Jamaican ones, it's just that's what I loved about cruising, and I still love to this day, was it's not about being English, it's not about being American, it's about everyone coming together and just letting your hair down. Well, not my hair anymore, but like just having fun. And that's part of the whole thing about cruising as well, is meeting new people. So that's what makes
100%.
Tell us about the origin of Vitamin C UK. Whose idea was it for that clever name?
Oh, we were talking about this earlier today. It was yours, apparently.
I think it's mine.
I actually cannot remember where it came from.
I think we said vitamin C, but then we both went, vitamin C, but not vitamin C, but vitamin C with SEA.
Yeah.
Because we're thinking of vitamin C in the sun, and then we kind of went, the ocean and the ships together. So, okay, collaborative.
Yeah.
We'll say both of us.
Talk about the formation of it. When did you decide to start? I guess you do most of your work on Instagram.
Yeah,
on Instagram for now. Do you know what it was? It was after lockdown, and it was Princess. They were doing the staycations.
Seacations. Yeah.
Seacations. So you literally got on board. You literally went out to
You went to nowhere.
I think we went to the coast of Spain.
Yeah, but we didn't No, we went into the Bay of Biscay.
Yeah.
Literally, we left Southampton, and you just got on a ship that went to nowhere.
So what was the first ship you went on after the restart?
It was the
Sky Princess.
Okay.
Sky Princess.
So my first time on Princess, so I was a little bit.
Oh yeah, and I'd done Princess as a kid and I had great memories.
But it was Seacation, so it wasn't going anywhere. But it was like the first time of traveling after lockdown. We were still wearing masks, kind of around the ship.
Oh, inside, yeah.
And it was a really gorgeous day from Southampton, which doesn't happen very often.
Oh my god, it was stunning.
And we all got excited. We had a drinks package. We jumped in a hot tub. We were drinking. Didn't realise that you only get 15 drinks maximum. We've done that in a day.
Yeah, literally.
Probably before 8 o'clock. But we jumped in the hot tub, and there's this guy. What was his name? Pete. Cruising Pete. Pete. And we were just chatting to him about us, what we do. We love traveling. He goes, "Why don't you do a blog, YouTube and stuff?" I went, "Oh, we haven't got time for YouTube, unfortunately." And then we kind of thought about it, and then from that, it kind of started off, right?
Yeah. Had some spare time, got on Instagram,
and started posting.
It got some likes.
It did, and then more likes, and then So that was the start of it. So thank you, Cruising Pete, for putting that.
And now you guys are stars on Instagram. Are you
right? We're getting there, slowly but surely.
Does Cruising Pete know what he sprang on the world? I mean, does he keep in touch with you at all?
Yeah, occasionally.
We've thanked him a couple of times.
Yeah. We always thank him. Don't we?
Yeah.
Very good. So I imagine the pandemic was particularly tough. Did you do anything special during the shutdown?
God, we had a lot going on.
Yeah,
a lot going on.
I was furloughed.
All of it.
So in the UK we had a furlough scheme where we were very lucky that the government paid a percentage of your wage, and then if you were really lucky, your employer topped the rest up. So I was put on furlough for pretty much the whole of COVID from my employer. And they great company. They topped the rest of it up, and we were able to draw from our pension contributions as well to get the money. Anyway, another story. Yeah, no, I slipped a disc in my back halfway through COVID, which wasn't great. So Ben couldn't really walk or anything.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but a great time to have it. I had all this time off, so I wasn't missing work, wasn't missing out on anything. I couldn't go anywhere. And had my back operation during that.
Kind of a bit of a godsend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a godsend.
For a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And at least I didn't get COVID at the same time, which was a bonus.
Now I know you said earlier that you looked at YouTube videos. That's interesting because
do that a lot.
There's kind of a split. There's some people who couldn't look at YouTube videos, cruising videos, during the shutdown. I don't know. I guess it brought back too many memories or whatever, reminded you of what you were missing out. I clearly, a lot of people must have thought that way because I interview, YouTubers all the time, and almost everyone I interview talk about how their traffic went unbelievily down.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
well, we must have been the ones keeping it up. The only reason we were watching YouTube is because we booked a cruise for me, Tom, my mum, and a best friend, and we booked MSC Seaside because they were like, oh, we're going to go cruise MSC Seaside because one of the new ships. We were obsessed with watching YouTube,
literally video after video after
some of it
video
more than
after
me, because I got to a point where I can't watch anymore. Like, so I started doing cooking classes with my friends, etc., etc. But yeah, that's what made us look at YouTube, because of the cruise we had coming up that they got cancelled. So yeah,
right. Yeah, you probably were like me, thinking or wishful thinking that cruising was about to come back.
Well, yeah, we were like waiting for
it
it
kept
to
getting
happen.
delayed and delayed
and
and delayed.
But do you know what, though? It kind of, in a godsend again as well, because they kept cancelling, we kept rescheduling. And I went, do you know what? We ended up cancelling MSC completely, because we were like, okay, it's not working out. The cruise isn't going where we want to go now.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit more money saved as well. And then we ended up booking Celebrity, which we can go into later on, which that we love.
Yeah.
But because of the whole COVID thing, we kept getting these every time that the cruise changed, you'd get a different bonus or something would happen. So everything kind of fell into place in the end. But we can talk about it. Yeah.
So after that first cruise back on Sky Princess, you, as they say, hit the ground running. You started cruising like crazy. How many cruises have you been on post lockdown?
Oh gosh.
So Sky Princess, Millie, Apex, about 7.
Beaver 2, don't forget them.
About 6 or 7 more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Quite a few.
Recently,
yeah. So about 7 to 8, maybe.
So give us some highlights of your post restart cruising.
Oh gosh.
We booked the holiday with Mum.
Yeah.
And Marie.
That was amazing.
And my mum's never cruised before.
Oh, wow.
I was trying to get her to go. She's like, oh, it's a ship. I'm not quite sure. And Tom wants, so Tom goes, let's book Celebrity. I'm like, oh, I'm not quite sure about Celebrity. I feel like they're a bit too luxury and it's going to be full of older people. And I want it to be a bit more relaxed. I want Mum to feel comfortable. And then I went, right, do you know what? You said it's good. We're going to book it. And I think what it was we arrived in Miami before Mum, so we were a bit more relaxed. Then what did we rent? What's that called?
The Mustang, yeah.
Rented a Mustang convertible to make Mum feel a bit more, and her friend.
Picked her up from the airport.
It was
amazing.
It started raining and the roof had to go up halfway down the motorway.
Yeah, with bags sticking out the back. Yeah.
And then I'll tell you what sticks out for me. We were saying it earlier on. It was when we all boarded the Millie, as we call her. Celebrity Millennium. And we were also walking up the gangway. So you got to remember, this is like the first proper holiday after lockdown. And we're all walking up to board, and Tom starts crying. My mum starts crying. Marie's crying. I'm trying to hold it up the more butch one of the group. And I'm getting emotional. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then my mum I'm getting emotional now. Just see my mum, like, oh my God, she's getting on a cruise for the first time. It's been locked down.
It was weird. You literally saw like her relax completely.
It was like something just
the minute she stepped on board, and they handed her a cold towel, and just literally that welcome. It was like, we're here, we're on holiday.
Yeah.
Forget everything that had happened over the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, it's like Mum just became herself again. It was lovely to see. It was lovely.
Well, and that's what cruising will do.
Yeah, escapism completely.
I know my first cruise after the lockdown, I am not ashamed to admit my eyes watered over,
Yeah.
We still do that. We still get excited like children.
Oh, we do. On that gangway, yeah. Every time.
Now, did you say that cruise, that was the Millennium?
Yeah,
Celebrity
70 million.
Millennium, yeah.
First time on Celebrity for me.
Yeah. I mentioned my last cruise was that NCL Spirit. Millennium was the cruise I did before that.
We love her.
Yeah.
So she had a refurb, right? A refit, as they call it.
Yeah, a revolution.
Yeah.
Revolution.
Yeah. I went on I went on Millennium. It was actually a pretty special cruise because it was called the Smooth Jazz Cruise. I like
Oh,
Wow,
nice.
okay.
I like smooth
I'd love
jazz,
to do that.
and it was like a non-stop, music festival. I mean, after I say this to people, after a couple of days, I felt like I had been on a 1 week cruise. It was just,
Oh, wow.
it was
That
just
for
so.
lot.
I mean, they had music in the main theater, of course. They had music in the main dining room. They had music and
Oh, really?
a lot of little, bars. But
Where's
everywhere
that,
you go.
that kind of cruise? Was that like based for
Was it
Americans or?
like a charter or?
Yeah, it was a charter cruise, but there were a lot.
Okay.
There were a lot of non-Americans on there. This company they do jazz cruises, every year. So
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
they
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
yeah they
Yeah.
You have to
and they
give us the details on that.
they sell out every year. Like right now, they do it every January, so you can't go on the January cruise.
Uh-huh.
They're booking for January 25.
25. Wow.
I must admit, our favorite spot, I think, on any cruise ship
On Sky Princess was
is
the jazz
Sky
bar.
Princess, the jazz bar. Yeah,
They had it too. It was perfect.
it was the ambience in there, and the staff and the music.
Yeah.
We sat in there for hours.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I'm booked on my first Princess cruise. I've never been on Princess, surprisingly, because I go on all kind of lines.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited to see this new ship. It's Sun Princess.
Oh,
Sun,
Sun,
then Star. Yeah.
Star's coming. Star's the new one.
Star's the one.
Sun's now. Star's the new one.
Yeah.
So, but it's not until 25. So talk about your cruising style. I mentioned in the intro that you guys like to dress up in formal wear, but you also like to be chic in the evening. I mean, just talk about your approach to cruising.
We've kind of
I will say this. Every time that I see you guys on Instagram, you look like you are just having a ball.
Love dressing up. Like wearing a tux, but only once, maybe. I
Once
can't
or
wear it
twice
every
a
night
cruise now.
because I can't. And stuff around my collar, I'm like, ah.
yeah.
But we do like dressing up. We like the shirt, the blazer, the jeans, and we like,
I love it on the right occasion
yeah, all the right shit.
or the right shit. Yeah.
Now,
It's like,
speaking of dressing, have you been on Cunard?
yes, we just come off her last weekend.
Queen Mary 2, yeah.
Mary 2, 2 weekends ago.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Because that's on my bucket list, but I don't like dressing up. I like chic evening, casual.
Yeah.
But formal wear. I did wear a tux on a ship once. I wonder if I could fit in it anymore. I doubt it because
that was the issue we had on the last one.
I haven't dressed for formal night in 5 years, maybe.
Okay.
How was Cunard?
That's what they're known for. Let's be honest. Is they're known for their classic British luxury cruising, and that's what it was. In lots of ways.
I feel like our cruise wasn't long enough for us to really, truly experience it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was only 2 nights.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I feel like, yeah, but we did the dressing up night. We did the afternoon tea, which was amazing because they actually use proper cream.
Yeah, clotted cream.
It wasn't squirted cream, so we're very excited about that. But I feel like we need to go back on it, or we need to go on the new one
and do it longer.
Looks stunning, may I add?
Oh, the Queen
Anne.
Anne, yeah, Queen Anne,
Yeah.
So yeah,
she looks amazing.
We'd like to do the crossing on Cunard.
But back to the question. Yeah, we do like dressing up, but we like dressing down as well. We like eating al fresco. So if we can wear just a shirt and shorts, perfect. And actually embrace the weather of the location you're in. That's amazing. And lots of ships these days allow you to do that.
Kind of. They're starting to.
They're starting to, yeah.
Starting to realise the outside is what we want, really, yeah.
Because if we went on a normal holiday, I say normal holiday, off a ship, we wouldn't sit inside in an air-conditioned box. We would sit outside
in shorts and shirt.
Right.
Still dressed up nicely, but
casual, smart, like boat shoes, chino shorts, and a nice shirt. That's how we'd like to go for dinner.
Yeah.
And when we're on holiday, but we do like to dress up. But like even when we're on Celebrity, we've decided now we're probably not going to wear the tux anymore.
No,
because it's not that brand anymore. It's not what you wear on that kind of ship. I feel like it's more blazer shirt, t-shirt, but it's still
blazer
smart.
And shirt, jacket and shirt, yeah.
Cunard is more your tux nowadays, I'd say.
Which I must admit, wearing
Princess, I would say.
yeah,
probably.
well, yeah. wearing it on the Cunard when we did dress up, I did feel amazing,
Mhm.
and other people did exactly the same. I think that's it. If everybody on this ship does the same thing, then you feel like you're part of the gang.
Uh-huh.
If you're doing it on a ship where only a couple or a handful of people do
You
it,
feel a bit silly.
you feel a bit odd, and people look
Tom
at
was
you.
more a bit braver. I'm the one who goes, oh, everyone's watching and looking. But then what normally happens is everyone will come up and says, oh my God, guys, you look amazing.
Which is good. That
Which
is nice. Yeah.
But then you always feel silly that you're wearing it and no one else is. So I feel like we're stepping back a bit on the tux,
Yeah.
but only wear it for certain cruises.
But that's the other thing when I see your photos on Instagram. As I said, you always look like, I use the word, you exude fun. But the other thing is, you guys are very sharp.
Thank you.
So
We do try.
Yeah.
Yep. So now I also talked about in the intro, you like food. Do you consider yourselves foodies?
Not food connoisseurs, put it that way, but we do like good food. So
we like what we
when
like.
we cruise, we expect good food.
Yes.
And when we don't get the good food, we won't complain about it. We just won't post about it, if you know what I mean.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
We're never going to complain. We just won't post about something we've not enjoyed.
We won't badmouth.
We won't badmouth.
Post
We just won't post about it. I feel that that's fair because, everyone else has got different tastes. So we don't want to offend anybody. But the buffet for us is a lunch thing. And a first day, maybe breakfast to experience it. Yeah, but we do like our food.
Do you go to the specialty restaurants?
Yes
and no. It really depends on the price. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pay extortionate prices for something sometimes that isn't great, but we do pay for one or two on the cruise. Okay, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Like
recently we did fair enough, we were invited, but it was Green and Co on P&O. I was blown away.
It was vegan food.
All vegan food. I would happily pay for that again and again.
But it's not something we probably would have done if we weren't invited on board, right? But like going forward, because we tried it, we know we'd probably do it now.
It was nice to try something different. Yeah. And I think that's the one time we would do specialty on board.
If it's
something different. Yeah.
Like your typical steakhouse that's on every ship. More of a like Eden on Celebrity or Indian restaurant on Fred Olsen, which was amazing.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah.
What are you working on now, or are you working on anything right now at Vitamin C UK?
We're planning. I'm going to call it a trip of a lifetime because it is a trip of a lifetime.
We actually are planning a trip of a lifetime, but not just for Vitamin C.
No, but for my mum and dad as well that are coming with us. We're sailing from Mumbai in India to Singapore.
Oh wow! What ship?
So Millennium again.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got excited about that, didn't we?
Cannot wait to be back on board her. Cannot wait to show mum and dad. But I cannot wait for the itinerary. It's Mumbai, Goa, Colombo, Hambantota, where we're going on safari.
Oh wow!
Then over to Malaysia and Thailand, and then finally down to Singapore.
It's like 7-8 ports, isn't it?
Yeah,
13 nights.
Yeah. Oh my god, I cannot wait.
Yeah. So we're planning all trips for that. We've got food tours going on. We've got what they're called. Tuk-tuks.
Yeah.
So it's a tour. We're doing safari, like Tom said.
We're going to the elephant sanctuary.
We're going to go to the elephant sanctuary. So we're planning all that, but we're also going to blog now, which we didn't expect we were going to do. But we're doing
you're starting a blog.
Well, no. I mean our Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to do that along the way, and this is what I keep saying to Tom is all of the Instagram or YouTube is mainly about the Caribbean, Alaska, Hawaii. So this could be a new angle. I feel like people need to realize there's a lot more out there than the typical places where people go. And this could be a chance for us to show, if you've never cruised before, a new way of cruising.
And you can go pretty much
anywhere. And you can go to places that not everyone goes to,
Now I'm gonna put you guys on the spot because I know you said earlier that it's a lot of work and you guys both work, but it seems to me you would be a natural Vitamin C UK would be natural for a YouTube channel.
We've had this a couple of times.
I think that your channel would your subscribers would just flock to your channel, because if I notice you guys on Instagram enough that I wanted you to be on the podcast, imagine what it would be like if that were live action. Like I said, you always look like you are having a ball.
Yeah.
You are always dressed very nicely. You are always smiling. I'm telling you, mark my words, because someday you'll probably start a channel. Your YouTube channel will be a hit.
We would love to. We both have two very intense jobs, which is preventing us from doing it.
I can understand.
We both love our jobs.
We do. We love our jobs. And yeah,
well, that's good.
Exactly.
That's good to have. There's not too many people these days. Well,
there's moments where I hate my job, but 90% of the time, if my bosses are listening, love you all. 90% of the time, we love our jobs. So we both got a passion for what we do.
We're very lucky to have the jobs that we have.
And the team we work with are amazing.
Yeah. I love my team to bits.
We are lucky, but But YouTube, I feel like it's a full-time job.
Just from doing reels, just a reel for Instagram can take an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. So to do a full-blown,
I think if I went to a 4-day week and Tom went to a 4-day week, we could do YouTube, but that's maybe somewhere in the future.
But look, we are talking about dabbling into YouTube Shorts. So we may have a presence on YouTube shortly. It will be shorts to start with.
So let's talk a little bit. Oh, I want to ask you. Right now, you're mainly just on Instagram, but how can fans follow Vitamin C UK on social media and the internet?
Just Instagram at the moment. You've also branched out into TikTok.
Kind of branched out to TikTok. I need to understand how it works, but we're on TikTok and Instagram, and then we're going to try and do Facebook. I feel like we just want to make sure that what we're doing is the right way first before we start branching out to everything else. So we don't want to have too many channels going on if we can't control them.
We want to do it properly.
And
so
we like to reply to people. So if we've got too many channels, we can't do that as much as we'd like to. So I feel like concentrate on what we're doing and making it good. And then once that, if it goes places, then maybe branch out more, right?
But also we've I think you interviewed Dan and Jay from Sail Away recently. We've recently this month launched an article in their magazine.
4-pager actually.
We're hoping to keep writing for them each month, so you will see us in print version as well.
So if you want to read more as well, subscribe to their
magazine.
Second one. So November issue.
Oh, okay. See, I don't have access to it yet.
It's online at the moment. You can subscribe online.
So you can download?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because I know the hard copy is just UK only.
For now.
Watch this space.
And you may see us in it.
There you go. All right. So let's shift to the future. We've got some great ships coming out in 24 and 25. Any of you are particularly anxious to try?
You must be able to guess which one we'd want to go on. Celebrity.
Well, what you said Queen Mary.
Well, Queen Anne. Was it
Queen Anne?
Queen Anne
would love to.
I'm sorry, Queen Anne.
And Ascent, because we've not done that class yet. So Ascent for
we have. We've done
the newer version.
Apex,
the newer version. So Ascent on Celebrity.
Didn't you say you did Apex?
Yeah, but Ascent is different. It's a little bit more extended.
It's bigger.
The back of it's bigger. The bar in the middle is bigger. So there's a few differences which we'd like to try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna love Ascent, because I recently did not recently October I did Beyond.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was amazing. That was my one checking off one of those bucket list items that I picked up from this podcast or writing. I write books too, and so I ask everyone, what's on their bucket list, and I kept hearing the Mediterranean. So we did the Mediterranean in October on Celebrity Beyond. But what a ship!
Captain Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She wasn't. She was on leave or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
When we were on, so we didn't get a chance to see
You
her.
must have had.
But I know that Dan and Jay just interviewed
Yeah,
her.
they
Interviewed her.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the American version.
Yeah, and then in the next issue, I think.
Yeah.
So what else of the new ships? Any others you have your eyes on?
Wow, there's so many. Queen Anne, I would love to get on board. Just purely now we've been on Queen Mary 2.
I think
Stunning ship, but they're embarking on a kind of a more modern, classic kind of interior. Just it's still going to have that edge of Cunard, but it's going to be
next level,
and yeah, just I don't know how to put it into phrase.
I think it's going to be contemporary British. It's going to be very black tie, but the interior is going to be really on point.
Yeah,
but also okay, not some new ships, but we want to try Virgin.
Yes, we do.
You say you won't?
We want to try Virgin.
Want to? Okay.
Virgin. So but we're not quite sure how I'll take it. But we'd like to try like a little mini cruise on them as well.
Yeah, and they're coming to the UK next year, so
I think from
who
Portsmouth.
knows? Yeah.
Well, I am a virgin, but I will. How do I say this? Lose my virginity in April. We're going on. Yeah, we're going on Scarlet Lady.
Yeah.
So that cruise has two firsts because that obviously will be my first time on Virgin, but that also will be my first transatlantic.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah. So you're coming US to here.
Yeah. Well, US to
Barcelona.
I think it. I should know this. Somewhere in Portugal, maybe. I can't remember where.
Lisbon, maybe.
Yeah. But it starts off with 8 sea days, and I hear so many great things about their food. So I'm going to gain about.
So that's a bonus, right?
About 8 pounds in those 8 sea days, because I'm trying everything. In fact, you mentioned earlier. A vegan. They have a vegan restaurant that. It's mixed. It has some non-vegan food, but I hear it's unbelievable. The vegan stuff. So
and they've got one called Test Kitchen as well, which looks amazing. That's where you get like a mushroom that looks like a mushroom, but it's not a mushroom.
Yeah. That Royal has something like that called Wonderland.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We need to get on them as well. Tom's never tried Royal Caribbean, so I need to get. It's a different concept for you, but I feel like you need to try it.
Yeah, we'll try anything.
We need to get on the nav.
Yeah, Royal's a lot of fun. It's a family centric cruise ship, but a lot of kids. But I mean, I went on Royal and I did skydiving and. Simulated skydiving and bumper cars and on and on. So what do you have booked? I know you mentioned Millennium. What else? Anything booked?
Actually, we're going away Christmas. So in the UK, not UK, in Europe, they do river cruises, and we're going on Viva.
Yeah, our friends at Viva Cruises. We're going to do
the Christmas markets. And my mum is very jealous because she used to live in Berlin, and she also used to talk about the Christmas markets and the Christmas food and all this.
I must admit, Germany does Christmas well.
They do the Christmas, and the Americans.
Yeah, and the Americans.
But Germany do it a little bit different. And
the markets in the Gluckwein and
so we're doing that with Viva Cruises. In December for 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah, over a weekend. So we leave from Dusseldorf. We go to Koblenz.
Cologne. There's somewhere else,
which I cannot remember.
But yeah, it's all based around Christmas markets.
And you're there, like the ship doesn't leave until early in the morning, like 2-3 a.m. So you've got time to experience the markets at night. And
and I always thought river cruising was for older people, and it's not. It's actually really mixed. And Viva is all inclusive as well, right?
It is, yeah. everything. Yeah.
So it's really, it reminds us of celebrity in a way.
Oh, their interiors are beautiful. Yeah.
Well, river cruising is on my bucket list. As I said, I have an ever expanding bucket list, but I am going to check that off. I'm booked on a river cruise. It's in August in France.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really nice because it's a 7-day river cruise, but then there's 3 days tacked on. You take a high-speed train into Paris, and there's a 3-day land portion in Paris. Yeah, so that's on Amma Waterways. I wish I was going on the Christmas markets cruise like you, but I am going to try MSC for the first time at Christmas with my
we need to try
extended family.
We want to try Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that is unbelievable. That's sort of there.
I feel like that might be our MSC.
Yeah, might be our MSC.
Yeah, although that I hear is their luxury arm. So
yeah. Watched a YouTube video and they had what's her name from Wicked.
Oh, Kerry Ellis
singing on there.
She was the Glinda in
Wicked
in the UK, or was she Alphabet?
I'm not sure.
It was one of the two, one of the leads. Yeah.
So, what's on your travel bucket list?
Oh gosh,
so many places. I really want to do, and this has been on my list for years, but even before we started cruising loads, French Polynesia and Fiji.
Oh, wow. Yes.
To me, like, the Caribbean isn't paradise anymore. I love the Caribbean, don't get me wrong.
I think we've done it too much. That's the thing.
I want to go to, and like literally, I fell in love when I went to Hawaii. Like, I remember getting on the plane and leaving Hawaii, and I cried. I literally sobbed as I left because I loved it so much. And I want to go back to that part of the world, but I want to go somewhere where generally people from the UK don't go. I want to go somewhere different.
Kind of untouched in a way.
Yeah. So for me, French Polynesia and Fiji.
How about you, Scott? What's on your bucket list?
One we're already doing because we're doing Asia, and I've never really done Asia, so we're ticking it off in February. But Galapagos on Flora with celebrity.
Yes.
And I'd love to do more like Brazil and Argentina, that kind of area too.
Yeah, actually,
I've not done that part of the world enough.
I've done Rio, but other than Rio, I need to do the rest of that.
I feel like that side of the world needs to be touched.
Yeah.
We've kind of done the Caribbean, we've done the Mediterranean.
Done Central.
Do you know what as well? The UK. I want to see more of the UK. I feel like I've not done enough of it.
And you can do that more now, which is
I feel like we've got such a beautiful country that we've not touched it enough. And I feel like there's a few things we could do here.
Yeah.
Well, it's not until the summer of 25, but I have a cruise booked, and it leaves from Southampton, and it returns to Southampton. Yeah. So in the books, I would say, and on the podcast, I would say about a third of the passionate cruisers that I interview are from UK. So it's a long ways away, but before it gets closer, I'm going to contact some of the folks and say, hey, I'm coming to Southampton. I'd sure like to meet you in person.
Really good.
With MSC, which cruise line?
That is the NCL Prima.
Oh wow!
What are you doing? You do Norway?
Norway, yes.
Have you done Norway?
No.
Oh my God! I tell you what, Tom was like, with the cold. We did it on APEC, and I tell you what, it's people think Alaska and Norway are going to be the same. They're similar in ways, but they're completely different. Okay, it's cold, but not too cold.
The difference is
it's greener.
Alaska, animals. Norway, nature.
Yeah. But you're gonna honestly, it's beautiful. It's picturesque. Tom realized that he loved was being on a cruise ship, but going through land,
seeing things,
not being in the ocean. It's beautiful.
And these fjords tower over the top of the ship.
Waterfalls
coming down.
With a glass of champagne, mate.
They do this They do this amazing thing, and I don't know that all cruise lines do it because we've only ever done it with Celebrity, but they did this. They called it a donut. So they got to was it the Seven Sister Waterfall?
Seven Sister Waterfalls, yeah.
Where literally they stopped the ship, and the ship did a 360 turn.
So everyone got to see,
no matter where you were on the ship, you got to see everything that was around you before it continued down to Garanga, and it was. I'm blown away.
Garanga was well.
Like I ran into freezing cold waterfalls and everything.
It cycled from it's like a glacier down to the bottom. It was honestly, make sure you get a bit active if you can. If not, there's other things you can do.
I think that's my best cruise yet. Best.
I want to take him to Alaska.
Yeah, I've not done that yet.
Well, you guys get me excited about Norway, but it's over a year away, but.
But it's over a year away. Plan your excursions, your activities now.
Yes.
So you've got them booked in because they will book up fast. And if you need to anything, just give us a message and we can give you some ideas.
Well, I appreciate that.
No problem.
So before we let you go, anything else on your bucket list you want to mention?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say it. I want to do a Disney cruise. I love Disney. I've been to every park in the world except Shanghai. So Tokyo, Paris, 2 in America. I want to just experience, not for long, for a 3-day cruise.
3 or 4 days.
A 3 or 4 day cruise to see what it's like.
I love children, but not
I want to see what makes them different. And I want to see if you can enjoy it as an adult, or if it is just purely for kids.
You definitely can enjoy it as an adult.
Yeah,
the only thing, if you're an adult who has to have casino gambling, that's the issue.
Oh no, I'm good.
Yeah.
See, I would feel silly going on a Disney cruise as an adult. I don't know why. Not having children. I might have to take my nieces.
Embrace it as a big kid.
I'd feel silly.
Now, I'll be honest. I did go. I've only been on one Disney cruise, and I did go because of kids. I wanted to there was my grandkids' first cruise. They were, I think, 4 and 9. And,
their first cruise.
And I just said they have to start with Disney. And that must have hooked them, because since then they cruise with me a lot, but we haven't been back to Disney. So before we let you guys go, a couple of fun or at least light cruise questions, and then what I call an oddball question, because it doesn't really relate to cruising at all. So.
Okay.
So the first question really is just so I can get some ideas. What's each of you? What's your favorite cruise drink and favorite cruise food?
Drink is easy. I will always have a glass of champagne in my hand at any time of the day, be it at breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Where I'll have a frozen margarita.
Oh, you will? Yeah.
You know, on Virgin, they have like nonstop champagne at the sail away for sail away.
And it's Moet. Moet.
Booking now.
See, I love champagne, but not the way he does. I'll have 2 or 3, and I'm like, the bubbles are done now. Give me the tequila.
I will drink it until the cows come home.
Not too much tequila.
So what about food?
I'll go to. We're bad on Celebrity because they offer it. We will have our escargot every
time we go to the main dining room. We have that as a nibble.
Yeah, we do. It will always be on the table for everyone.
Eat most of it. But
escargot is my cruise ship tradition. I have never had it on. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I once went to Aruba, a land trip, long time. That was my honeymoon. So that was 30 years ago, and I had escargot for the first time. Other than that, never had it on land. I don't see it in any restaurants.
You don't find it in many places, do you?
A couple of French restaurants. I didn't eat it once. Not.
I love it. Yeah. It's not what you think it is either.
No, we there's a funny story to this. So my mum, she's very English, very boring when it comes to food. Won't try much international food. But when she comes with us, like your dad as well.
Yeah, my dad will try.
Once they're with us, they get a bit more experimental. So we had dinner one night on Millie, and Mum, try these mushrooms. She's like, mushrooms? And she tried them. They're not mushrooms. But she tried them, thankfully. But, she did like them. She did a little bit because she likes garlic.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, next question. So and again, for each of you, what's your most memorable or funniest or even most embarrassing cruise or port experience?
I'm going to let you go with this one. I can't think of anything.
I think we said it earlier. One of the most memorable ones was getting on board with Mum, and we all got emotional because she's never cruised before. So that for me they'll always stick in my mind, and even when I talk about it, I get welled up. There wasn't the best funny times and embarrassing time at the same time is the silent disco on cruise ships. It's when we've got our headphones on. We dance like no one's watching. On board with anyone.
Or listening.
Shoes come off and he goes in his own world. And he's like Florence on the Machine where he's doing all this little... or Kate Bush. So he's doing that. He's dancing and I'm singing off the top of my voice. And then the next day when someone comes up to you and go, look, guys, this was you last night. And we're like...
the videos.
And we'd always get people coming up to us and going, hey guys, great dance last night.
No, actually, the best one was when we were on Norwegian, and I can't remember what the cruise director was doing or something. And then we managed to start a hokey cokey.
Oh, he was doing the hokey cokey, and we went, we don't do hokey cokey. And we got in the middle, we started dancing, and all of a sudden, everyone stopped the hokey cokey
and started dancing
with us. And the cruise director was like, it's our show, not yours. So I think that might have been embarrassing for us the next day.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few embarrassing moments. But silent disco, if you've not been on a cruise or you're going to go on a cruise, do it because that's the moment where you can just let yourself go and not worry about what anyone's thinking.
Yeah, you just
that's
I already have a plan. My granddaughter, she's 14 now, so I first took her on the cruise when she was 4, but she's gonna
everything you do is gonna be embarrassing.
she's gonna be on the cruise on Christmas, and I already have it in my mind that we are going to do the silent disco.
You got to.
You have to.
Yeah.
You just got to let yourself go and just. You don't know anyone on that ship. They're never going to see you. And just get on with it.
They might if you're on Instagram.
This is true.
Now, Scott, you said that Tom was the dancer, but you were the singer. Can you sing?
No, I dance, but I feel like my voice is. I've got a loud voice anyway because I'm quite mad, like Londony. Yeah. But so my voice travels quite further.
It does. So, you don't have a quiet mode.
No, I don't. Even when I'm whispering, I'm
like a boombox. Yeah.
I'm like my brother though. We're both
the reason I ask is I hear that I never ever participate in karaoke on a cruise ship.
No.
However, I hear that on Virgin they have like private karaoke rooms. So, and I'm not sure how it works, but it's different than, I wouldn't do karaoke in public, but I think I am going to try karaoke.
I'll do that, yeah. If it was a karaoke room, yeah. You're just your nearest and dearest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the oddball question, you have a large following, even though you're just on Instagram. You've got a large following on Instagram, and I hope also that you will invite friends and family to listen to this podcast. So let me say welcome to the many Vitamin C UK cruise fans and friends and family listening. I hope your fans and friends like what they've heard and will come back and listen to some other episodes in the future, as well as all the past episodes. We have some great ones that we've done. Share one thing that my listeners and your friends and followers and family don't know about Scott and don't know about Tom.
Gosh, what the family don't know. That's
the family don't
scary.
know.
That one.
I think the family know everything.
I think the family know everything. We were talking about this earlier.
Listeners, let's do the listeners one.
So, listeners, do you know what? We didn't realize we've got this more of a connection than we thought as well from our family background.
Okay.
So, like, we're not really royalists, but being British, we feel like we've got to be sometimes. So, my granddad, God bless his soul, used to be the Beefeater in the Tower of London and the Raven Master. So, if you've ever heard of the Tower of London, it's like the old history castle that's in the tower, full of history. Used to stay there, and if the ravens flew away, the tower would fall, London would fall. So that for me was like my claim to fame. And I was christened in the Royal Chapel, which means I can get married in any Royal Chapel in the UK. Not that we're allowed yet, I don't think, but who knows? But the connection is that Tom's granddad also worked in...
My granddad used to work in Sandringham, which is another royal palace. He was a groundskeeper.
He used to speak to the Queen.
He used to speak to the Queen and all the royal family, just like they were friends.
Wow.
Which is madness. Which your granddad did.
My granddad, I've actually got a picture up on the radiator that I found with my granddad sitting with the Queen in his Beefeater's outfit. Yeah. So it's stuff like that you forget about, that people don't know, but that's your history, and
it's nice to have that
and it's
shared connection.
So that's the kind of connection as well, and it's good to have that remember I can't say the word memorabilia.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's pretty unique. So
we like it.
Well, Scott and Tom, thank you so much for coming on the Joy of Cruising podcast. This has been a lot of fun. All the best to Vitamin C UK, and you guys do some great cruising. I suspect we're gonna have you back if you will come back.
100%. Yeah,
I felt really comfortable talking to you.
Yeah, I've loved it.
Yeah,
from start to finish.
It's just not natural. It's all good.
Yeah,
like it.
We're good. I will pencil you in sometime. Sometime after the new year. So
after India.
Oh yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Yeah. You can give us a trip report.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. So take care, and it's almost the holidays, so I guess I can wish you Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Mariah started singing, so it's officially Christmas.
That's right. That's right. Although if you went in some of the stores around here that I go in, it was Christmas in September.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's not been my birthday.
Once again, I'm not allowed to celebrate Christmas until the 13th of November because Tom's birthday is the 12th of November.
There you go. Yeah. That's a good...
I'm not allowed to celebrate yet.
Yep, that's a good milestone. So anyway, I'll see you guys soon, and of course I see you every day on Instagram. As they say, I'll see you on the ocean.
See you on the ocean.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys, take care.
The Joy of Cruising and Cruising Interrupted, each $16.99 plus shipping, and new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, for $18.99 can be ordered at the link on thejoyofcruisingpodcast.com. For each of the 3 books, use the discount code Joy of Cruising Podcast and get $4 off. The Joy of Cruising books are also available at Amazon. Order the ebook at Amazon or your favorite online retailer. Stay in touch by joining the Joy of Cruising Podcast Facebook group or following the Joy of Cruising Podcast on Instagram. We're constantly adding new shows. Please leave a review and tell a friend about us. We hope you enjoyed this brief escape to the ocean. See you next week.